What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two cryptos today. We're going to be talking about Toshi and Turbo all in one video here. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 23rd day of October, and here we are sitting at about 3072, right? 0.00072. 7 hours and 12 minutes left in the day, up 5% on the day, which is nice to see, especially after yesterday's little pullback that we had, right? We dropped about 4.6%. I do believe that Toshi is on a path higher. It's probably going to see some massive growth here in a very short amount of time. I mean, we've been at this exact area before, and in one day saw a 51% pump. It was really like a 100% pump in one day, all the way at the top there. From this area before, 1 week later, you were all the way up here at about 0.001. We're at 307 right now, so that's some solid growth. That's like a 30 to 40% growth rate, right? About a 50% growth in that amount of time, in about a week's time there. We've got a lot of growth in a very short amount of time. I don't believe that we're going to stop at this area again, or should I say, if we do stop, it'll be very momentary on the way higher. All in all, I think that we are on a path higher that's going to take us above this area, and whenever you think of it like that, whenever we look at it like that, really that means that we're probably breaking out of this trend that we've been in now since April. And even before then, really this trend goes back and I'm really glad we found the Toshi 3 chart, because this trend, excusing this blemish here, this trend goes back all the way to September of 2024. We've really been in this here, and I think we're going to break out of it truly. I think we tried to break out of it here. We got jumped back into it with the Coinbase listing, with other things, just the market as a whole kind of took a back seat with the tariff scare and all that stuff back then. I really do think that we're going to explore away from this area, and we are likely going to see not just new highs, but new all-time highs altogether. From a high here to a low there, the expectation is, and has been for months now, that we will see Toshi all the way up at about a 6x to about a 14x from here, something at $0.045 to 1 cent itself, something in that range. Okay, I'm looking for something more specifically at like 0.007, maybe even a little bit higher than that, but something that's on the lines of like a 10x or more. That's personally what I'm expecting from here, and that likely happens between now, I would guess between now and the end of November, but it could happen by the end of the year as well. I am expecting crypto as a whole to kind of get started here pretty soon. Oops, I didn't mean to draw it like that. To get started here pretty soon, rallying into the end of the year of 2025, and then we continue to push on into about like April, May of 2026. I'm on the monthly time frame here, so it really doesn't do it justice. The way that I see the monthly time frame working out is basically like it did last cycle, right? Like we're going to see a fantastic amount of growth in a very short amount of time, you guys. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. We're going to go on a rally, a run just like this, but it's going to be, I think, a lot faster and a lot more overall. But right there, yeah, I mean that honestly checks out. Anyways, Toshi, looking at the 1 hour time frame here. The RSI has rejected the overbought zone. You came down to the 50, and now you're coming back up. Are you getting set up to reject here? Maybe. I mean, we're right here. We got 9 minutes left. I don't know if you are, man. I think if you were to reject last hour, that close, that would have been enough for this hour to reject here. You don't have bearish divergence. I mean, it's there. It's just not technically there until you get a red candle. So here you've got green candles. I think that you're going to continue to grow. Stochastics look bullish. RSI looks bullish. The MACD is even crossing above the zero. All bullish across all indicators. That would make me think that we're going higher. What are we doing relative to this here? Let's take a high to a low. We're almost at the golden ratio, so you probably go a little bit higher. Nothing crazy, right? I bet we do find turbulence at about 30724 to 30731. If not there, then 3075 at the highest, right? 3074, somewhere up in there. We probably find turbulence, come back down, back test prior resistance for support, maybe go a little bit below, maybe you stop a little bit above, whatever it might be, but something in this zone, and then we continue to move higher. So all that being said, I think something between 30724 to 3075 is where we're going to go for resistance here. Most likely something between 3073 to 30724. Find resistance there. We'll probably pull back down to 30713 or 307 itself, something in that range, and then we will continue to move higher, looking for higher prices at 308 and beyond. I mean, as early as next week, I would say. I mean, even by the end of this week, to be completely fair. Looking at the 4 hour time frame here, got a nice higher low right there coming in. The RSI does have a nice uptrend as well, right? We've got higher lows and higher highs. It is overall bearish at the moment, but you've got a very bullish posturing here with this higher low and higher high kind of trend that you've got going on here. Lower lows throughout this range. Let's just see what you've got going on. Lower lows. You do have lower lows in the price as well. And that's, I mean, that's okay. Sometimes that happens. We've got a bounce in this area nonetheless. Bullish engulfing candle. I mean, I would think that we are moving up higher. I don't think that we move lower. Let me just see what you're doing here from a low to a high. Golden ratio bounce. Yeah, it's perfect. The MACD rejected, but this rejection's not rejecting. The rejection's not rejecting. You're actually crossing green here, and I think that you will come up to cross above the zero. Man, tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a good day for Toshi. Friday should be a good day. The 24th, mark my words, will be a good day for Toshi. Maybe we do see... I mean, if I'm wrong... I don't think I'll be wrong to the effect of going down or we don't go as high as I think we will. If I'm wrong, I think we're just going to go higher faster. Maybe tomorrow, Friday, we're all the way up at 308 and beyond that. Maybe we're literally outside this range by tomorrow. I mean, this 4-hour time frame is looking fierce right here, I have to admit. Because just think about it, right? Here we are at the low ends of this range here where you've got higher lows, right? You've got higher highs. I guess we're in the middle of it. We come up, we're likely going to get into this overbought with this next bit, maybe. Maybe we test it and then we come down and we come back up later. I don't know. In which case, maybe we do pump next week instead of tomorrow. But if we come up to the overbought zone, we're definitely going to pump tomorrow. Stochastics look like they want to go to the overbought zone as early as tomorrow. And the MACD crossing above the zero as early as tomorrow too. Tomorrow could really be a really good day, the 24th. Wouldn't be surprised. I'll talk about it again if it is. The daily time frame here, looking at this now. The RSI is at the same levels that it was at last time it found support, that it found support back here, it found support over in this area too, some turbulence there, support right there. We found a lot of significance right at this 40 level here. Sure, sometimes we go below, but overall I think the daily time frame we've got higher lows, right? We've maintained higher lows, which is nice to see. It's not a perfect straight line, but it is higher lows overall, which is nice to see. You know, in conjunction with the stochastics bouncing off the 50 here, crossing up like this. I think that looks nice. And then the MACD is right here at the zero, man. We're ready to bounce. You've got all the signs that you're ready to bounce. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but damn, man. I mean, we're up 5.5% today. I would say that this is a primary to buy, man. I really do think this is a primary to buy. We're going to see some extraordinary price action here over the coming days, over the coming weeks. I thoroughly would expect that by the end of the month of October, we could even be at prices that are above here, above 0015, or sorry, 1125, my bad, 115. We could be right above there. We're on our way, you guys. We're going to break out. It's going to happen so fast, it's going to make your head spin. By the end of November, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we're at 0044 or higher, okay? Which from here, again, by the end of November, it's the end of October right now, right? In like a month and a week's time, you're going to get a 6x move or more. And then going into the end of the year, we should get some continued growth. I've got nothing else for you guys, though. I think I've said everything that I need to say. If you like the video, hit the like button. Oh, wait. Do that, too. But we got to talk about Turbo, too. Let's talk about Turbo. Hold on. Turbo. Can't forget Turbo. I was just on autopilot there for a second. Turbo is coming down. It's not looking as vibrant right now as maybe Toshi is, but I think as we look into the shorter term stuff, we're going to see reasons to find support here. Looking at the weekly time frame though, since we're already out here, looking at this now, we're right at the same areas that we were at before whenever we found support down here. So we're very, very close. I mean, we could find support here. We don't have to interact with this same level, right? It's like here. Notice how we found support right here on the weekly time frame. Did we come back down there and touch that exactly? Yes, but not every time. Sometimes we found support above, we found support right there, we found support right here. You know what I mean? It's not a consistency that needs to remain. We can definitely find support right here. We could go a little bit lower as well, though. You know, what this says is that we're okay. If we do go a little bit lower, we can still bounce off the oversold zone in the same area that we bounced from before. I thoroughly expect Turbo, if it's not at its low, to find its low very soon, both in time and in price, and we are going to recover in a very short amount of time here. We look at this a little bit more zoomed in on the daily time frame here. We got 7 hours left in the day. The daily time frame, you had bullish divergence, but you've given that away. It's not bullish divergence anymore. I know that we have higher lows here, but really you have lower lows right there, right? You see it, lower lows there, and we do have lower lows here. So I wouldn't call that bullish divergence on the RSI, but I would call it bullish divergence on the MACD. That's nice. And then here we are at the zero line, the 50 level on the stochastics bouncing. That's a good look. I think that we have found our low. I want to look at the short-term stuff. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. 1 hour time frame. Stochastics look like they want to come up, albeit that is a weird area to bounce, but nonetheless, that's a nice look. We got 3 minutes left. That looks like you want to bounce here. The RSI bouncing off the 40, that's perfect. Bearish right here, but shaping up to be bullish right now. I think we're going to have a nice finish going into the end of this day here. And the MACD is showing a bullish trend here. This is good to see, you guys. This actually is really good. I think you have found your low. And if I've misspoken, if this isn't the low, that's okay. Go to 2021. Go to 2022. Go below there. Who cares? Go a little bit lower. And then when you come up, it's going to be miraculous. It's going to be fast. The amount of time you spend below this low, if at all, is going to be very short-lived, where the time above that low is going to be very long-lived, right? And I'm not even convinced at this point that we go below this low. I think that low holds. I think what we've seen here is a fake out, a lack of continuation, and with a vengeance, we're going to come back to the upside. Typically, that's what happens, right? Let's see if we can find an example of that here. You know, like here, you broke out of this, but it was a fake out, right? Because you didn't persist, you didn't continue. So what'd you do? Whenever you came back with a vengeance. You moved a lot faster. Now, of course, we did roll over overall, but that's not what we're expecting here, right? We're expecting to come back with a vengeance. In correspondence to this move here, you're probably going to get a bigger move, and I doubt that we're going to sell off and go to lower lows after that, right? Once we get above this point here, once we get above about 0.0027, I would anticipate that means that we have validated this low. If people don't think that means we validated this low, that's fine. You know, maybe we can wait until we get above this high here. Whenever we get above 2032, then that would at least validate the low. If you still think that the low is not in and we're above this price here, I don't know what to tell you. You're delusional at that point. But I do think we're showing signs of readiness to move higher. We look at the 4-hour RSI, and we do have higher lows here, bouncing right off the oversold zone. Nice to see. There is bullish divergence there, which is nice to see. Stochastics have bullish divergence, in the MACD does not have bullish divergence, but that's okay. You don't need it. Overall, I think that we look really good here, you guys. I'm pretty confident that Turbo has found its low. And again, if it goes lower, it's not going to be a problem. It's okay. That happens. But you'd probably find support, if I had to guess, you'd probably find support at 0.00212 to 0.0019, somewhere in that area. And again, if that happens, if you're fortunate enough to see the price down here, take it as an opportunity, buy, and then you'll see this thing come back up in a very, very short amount of time. None of that's financial advice. Not a financial advisor. That's just what I would do personally, what I'm thinking about doing if we do see those prices at that low. But if we're looking at this on a weekly time frame, again, I think things are looking good for an overall low. We are at areas where we are similar to what we saw back here at this low point here, and some of the weaker readings in the MACD and the stochastics that we've seen in that same amount of time. I would expect that we are getting ready to break out to new all-time highs. And looking at this overall from a high to a low, Turbo being here at the 236, bouncing right off this area would be perfect, actually. That really helps coincide with the idea that this is the low, that we don't go too much lower than that. I mean, I really do like this as the low, you guys. Not the scam wick. The scam wick doesn't count, right? We don't count that as real price action. I don't think it is real. You would not benefit. You would not stand to benefit interpreting it as real price action. But from here, going into the end of the year, we're looking for Turbo to do something on the lines of an 11x move or more, something at 2.7 cents to 6.2 cents, if I don't stutter. Anything from a 26x to almost a 12x is possible by the end of this year. And certainly we expect Turbo to do more than that by the end of the cycle. End of the cycle, we're looking at targets that are at 11 cents and beyond. I mean, can we see a 30-cent price? Absolutely we can. Can we see a 66-cent price? Let me see. What's Turbo's market cap? I don't think we can see a 66-cent price, but let's just see. We have the double golden ratio up there. 161 million. 100x is 16 million. 200x is 32 million. Yeah, we can see it. Doesn't mean that we will. Doesn't mean that we will, but it's in the realm of acceptable possibilities. 66 cents is. If I had to guess, I feel safe about saying we'll be above 12 cents, but we'll probably be below 35 cents. I would not be surprised in the least if we did top off at something around 30 to 40 cents there. That would be my expectation. But anyways, I've got nothing else. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves and buy the dip while you can. It's not going to be here forever. Everybody was bearish. Everybody was super bearish on Bitcoin here. Super bullish on it here, super bearish on it here, super bullish on it here, super bearish on it here. Do you catch my drift, right? We're just, what's the word I'm looking for? Very irrational right now. So don't pay attention to the media. Don't pay attention to your favorite influencers. Just do what you know is right and buy the dip, hodl. Soon enough, we will get a giant rip, a fantastic rip across the board in all cryptos. And Turbo is definitely going to be a part of that charge. Toshi will also be a part of that as well. And I think overall we're in a very bullish phase of consolidation. What we have here is a diamond top pattern, okay? And diamond tops are notorious for breaking out one way and then ripping the other direction. So I think that's exactly what we're going to get. And if I'm not mistaken, high velocity is a characteristic of these kind of breakouts. So I would expect with a quickness we move up to new all-time highs. But I'm just rambling at this point. I'll see you guys at the next one. Hit the like button. Take care. Bye bye.